today we're tying this bad boy up right here. 1/8 ounce jig head, picked up at Walmart. Got 10 of them for like $1.89 at the time. They're a tube type jig head, but they make excellent jigs, guys, when you're tying bucktail jigs. And we're going to go over everything that you need for this tie here. I absolutely love white and red and white, whichever one you prefer to call it, for white bass and hybrid. And that's what we're going to be putting together today, the red belly jig. So guys, let's get this bad boy tied. And what I used on it, I put a solid white coat, LA Colors. This is 164 with the hardeners in it. I covered the whole head white with it. I added the eyes I picked up off Amazon. You can Google like 3D eyes, and then you got a variety that you can choose from there. And then I put one little red line. This is a 400 red right across the bottom of that jig head right there. And then I hit it with some UV resin. This right here, this is the hard type. It dries clear. Hit it with that light. Take it out in the sun. Let them set for a few minutes. They'll cure in a matter of seconds. And yeah, that's about it on the jig head. We're going to be using a A-type thread today by Do It. We're going to be using red, of course. I absolutely love red for white bass, red and white. I like a good white dog fly sometimes. I'll throw them with a nice red collar, and super successful after those white bass during the spring when they're running. And we ran our thread right down to the bend of the hook right here and backed it up about 1/4 of a way. First thing we're going to be adding, I've got a little hackle feather here that I've done. Cut the end tip of it off, and if you've watched any of my prior videos, you know I love hackle feathers, as I like tail action on my jigs, whether it's crappie jigs or like a white bass. And I want this to stick over about 1 inch off the bend of that hook right there. So I'm going to lay him right up on this shank flat, and we'll give him a couple loose turns right here to get him locked in. Make sure he's not trying to bend on me. And then I'm going to give him a few tight wraps. That looks pretty good. And then we're just going to seat him down. We're just going to tie him down right here. Put some nice tight wraps down that stem. Locking it in. Now the next thing we're going to be adding to this tie right here, we're going to bring our thread right back up behind the jig head. Okay, next thing we're going to be adding is some white bucktail. So I'm just going to get down in here and just get a nice pinch of it. We'll probably have to do some stacking because this is pretty long hair that we got right here. So we'll pinch about like the head of a number 2 pencil, like a racer of a number 2 pencil, about what we going after. We'll get rid of some of the loose hairs, just like so. And then it's time to start stacking it. So I'm just going to put it in my hand, and I'm just going to start stacking these longer hairs lower down. And then we're going to go ahead and get this tied in right here. Get rid of some of those loose ones off the front. Put it right up against the back of that jig head, and we're going to give him a couple wraps. A few tight wraps there to lock him in. And then at this point, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to bring this over. And we're going to twist this all the way around to the bottom. Just like so. There we go. And the next thing we're going to be adding is some of the red bucktail right here. So I'll just kind of go down and get another pinch of it. Don't take much at all again. About right there is what we're looking for. About the size of a pencil eraser again. Kind of about like what you would be doing really for like a crappie jig. About like that. And then we got to stack again. About right there is what we're looking for. So we'll go ahead and get this measured up. And we'll get this cut now. Lay it right on top. And we'll give him a couple loose turns. Locking that bucktail in. Spin him back up on top right here. Just like so. And we'll just work our way up, locking all this bucktail in with some nice tight wraps. There we go. Looking good. Now, the last thing we're going to be adding, I put a lot of nice tight wraps around this. I may be throwing this for hybrid as well. We're going to be adding, this is polar flash right here. It's not expensive at all, and this has got some really nice color to it in the water, especially fishing like clear water, sunny day. This just puts off the flash, and it just attracts those fish, especially like those white bass that are feeding on shad and stuff. And I've already got a piece right here from a prior tie that I done, waste not, want not. I left laying on my desk. And this is about what you need right here in that tie. Just a little bit. You don't need much at all. I'll clean it up here. About right there. Just a small little pinch to go on the side of that jig. So I'm going to lay it right down. I want it to come right back to where the bucktail ends. And we're going to give him a couple of wraps right here and just lock him in. There we go. And the next thing, we'll just go ahead and take the excess. We're going to bring it right over top of that collar, pinching it, and we're going to lay it right down on the side of it right here. Sometimes it can be a little finicky, but that is fine. We're just going to lock it in, and then we're going to give him some wraps and then see where we're at with him. Locking him in just like so. And if there's any longer, that's fine. We can always trim it up when we once get done with it. So that'll be fine. So we'll just go ahead and build our collar up now. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 5 and 5 whips on this right here. 5 turns. Lock it in. Tighten him down, and then we're going to do 5 more where this is going to be for like white bass. I may do some hybrid fishing with this. Wrap it around my finger. You can just feel it seat in. Don't break the thread when you do that, of course. And then last but not least, we're going to add some Loctite super glue. This is not going to allow that collar, that thread, to go nowhere. It also gives it a nice shiny look. I put a couple of nice drops on it. I get my old paintbrush and I just work all around that collar, locking all of that thread in. Well, there you go, the little red belly white bass jig. This is awesome for hybrid too, for you hybrid fishermen out there. I absolutely love a white and red jig when I'm white bass fishing myself, or chasing those hybrid down on Cherokee Lake in Tennessee, where we do a lot of hybrid fishing. And this flash right here, guys, if you like tying jigs or getting into it, I encourage you to get some of this. It is really nice stuff. Polar flashing, and it goes a long ways. You get a ton of it, and it looks amazing in the water. When you're out there fishing, you can throw it out there. You can just see the flash. It's coming off of the little jig like it's right here. But if you enjoy the video, guys, I hope you give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you're not a subscriber. And guys, stay safe out there on the water. Try this jig. I think you'll really like it for those springtime white bass run and those hybrid as well. And until next time, stay safe out there on the water, and we'll see you right here at Hills and Gills.